Again, this is in North Seattle right now, the perimeter of Ingraham High School, this reunification site at about 133rd and Meridian, as we've heard from Dan Griffin, who's also talked to several parents this morning as well, who've all sort of heard some similar accounts of what happened here, some kind of fight. And as the school mentioned here, they don't believe that it's a random act of violence.
And it sounds as though it was a teenager that fled from the scene with a handgun in hand, according to numerous reports now, and fled the scene and was tracked down by police not long after the incident, which happened about 9:55 this morning. And so when we get more information on that arrest scene, we'll bring that to you. We expect that any moment.
All right, so we also have Dan Griffin at the scene this morning, who's been talking to parents all morning long. The parents, I appreciate them speaking with Fox 13, because that's not an easy thing to do when you're worried about your student and you're hearing all of this commotion here. Several parents saying that, two guys, it sounds like, got into a fight. One pulled a gun. Another group of parents that we spoke with saying that, their students were told that this is not a drill, but also thanking the teachers and the police for doing a good job. Police acting really quickly here, getting into the scene almost instantaneously, and that suspect in custody this morning.
And there's been a lot of discussion nationwide about how police respond to shootings on school campus, and Seattle police responding very quickly here and going immediately inside the school to assess the scene, to secure the school, and also provide aid to the shooting victim this morning. Dan, you're at the scene right now. What's going on?
Hey, yes, good morning to you, Bill. So I'm joined by another parent. His name is Harold. He has a daughter who goes to school here as well at Ingraham. I was talking with you a little bit about when you found out that your daughter was here and obviously what was going on. Can you kind of walk me through what that was like?
Yeah, I was at work. I work nearby, just an office job, and my wife's a school teacher, and she texted me. I was in a conference call, and and it said, and I texted her back, or she called, and then I texted her back like, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you back later. She said it's an emergency, so. That's the first thing. It's obviously a little alarming when you hear it's an emergency. And I didn't know if it was my son at his school, at a different school, or my daughter, or what it was. And so when I called back, my wife, she's at John Rogers Elementary, she had mentioned there's a school shooting of some sort at Ingraham. I don't know if she knew at that moment that my daughter was fine and okay. Again, physically, I think as we chatted before we got on camera here, physically okay. I don't think she knew, but certainly she's a little stressed out and emotionally shaken and all the rest of that, as are both of us. And so my car's down here, my wife's just down the road, and we're just waiting for her to be there. I guess I just took a call from my daughter before we started chatting, and I guess they're going class by class. And I don't know if they're actually looking for the shooter. I don't know if the kid that did this has been caught or what, but
he has been caught.
Okay,
or
well,
the shooter has been caught.
Yeah. So I guess they're just kind of securing and going through each classroom very methodically, and then I think they send them to the auditorium or maybe here to the parking lot, and then obviously we're going to go home. So yeah, it was a little. I think I was more reacting and not shaken yet. I think I'm starting to feel it now, but kind of just taking some deep breaths at the moment, and just very grateful that my daughter's okay. I mean, I feel terrible that there's any guns in the school. It's terribly disappointing. It's really shocking. It's just time for fist fights. If you're going to be a teenager and get angry, coming armed is really disappointing, disturbing. So.
Well, and I know that, obviously the response by police was rapid.
Yeah.
It was in a snap. They were here. You see this kind of a response. What are you feeling? I mean, to see Seattle police show up so quickly with such force to get this taken care of.
I'm grateful they were able to respond quickly, and I'm just grateful it was not what we hear about on the news so frequently of a mass shooting, with automatic weapons. It sounds like it was more of a personal dispute, but the fact that teenagers are escalating to gun violence is it's beyond disappointing. And yeah, I'm glad the police could come and do what they do. Yeah, I don't know how I feel, other than I'm just glad that they're here, and we got notified reasonably rapidly, and they posted stuff on their blog, and my wife's one of the administrators was able to keep her appraised as to what was going on, and then they let her go. So we're, like I said, here waiting.